children, I'm Felicia and I'm here to teach you social studies. Today we are going to learn about the Tundra region. So before we start with today's chapter, let us have a small recap of what we learned in our previous chapter. We had learned about the climate and the factors that determine our climate and why are there changes in the climate. So now coming to the Tundra region. In this region, we are going to learn about the countries that are located at the Tundra region and how the vegetation and the life of people and the animal life is in the Tundra region. So first, the location of the Tundra region. In the northern hemisphere, the Tundra region lies above the Arctic Circle, and in the southern region it lies below the Antarctic Circle. So as we had seen in the climate, the distance from the equator, the climate gets colder. So over here, this region at the northern hemisphere and this region at the southern hemisphere is filled with snow. And the countries that fall within this northern hemisphere are northern Russia, Norway, Finland, Sweden, Canada and Greenland. So these countries are lying at the northern part of the Tundra region. So this land you can see over here is covered with snow. So the Tundra region is mostly covered with snow and frozen ice. This region is permanently frozen. The upper subsoil does not melt. So this is called permafrost. It is called permafrost because the upper topsoil does not melt and it is permanently frozen throughout the year. So looking at this region, how do you think the climate would be? The Tundra region is very cold and the land is frozen most of the year. Winters are very long with short summers. In winter, the sun does not rise above the horizon. It is very windy and storms are common. There is very little rainfall in this Tundra region. In summer, days are very long and the sun never sets, but the temperature is always below freezing point. So you can see the climate in the Tundra region is always very cold and it is always below freezing point. So coming to the vegetation, you can see clearly that this area, as I said, is always covered with snow. So there are no trees found in this region. This region is called a treeless region. Okay, and there are mosses, lichens, grass, shrubs and flowering plants. So mostly you find is mosses. Mosses is nothing but if you see in an area, if water is continually flowing, you can see a green slippery kind of color kind of plant. You can't call it a plant, but a green, like a paper side, there is a green slippery kind of thing wherever you can find water leakage. So that is a kind of moss. Even if you touch it, it will be slimy and slippery. And this area has got grass, shrubs. So you can see that there are no trees in this region. Now coming to the animal life. Since this region is always frozen and very cold, so normal animals without thick fur cannot survive in this region. So animals with thick fur can only survive and thick fat. So like the penguins, polar bear, muskox, seal, walrus and the husky. Husky is a type of dog. It's a breed of dog with thick fur. The huskies are used to pull the sledge. So they are a kind of animals that pull the sledge like the animals over here, we use cow and bullock carts. So here they use a husky to pull the sledge. Now coming to the life of the people in the Tundra region. As again we know that this Tundra region is always frozen, the people living here are very few. The weather is very harsh and there is very little vegetation. Many areas are difficult to reach and can be reached only by boats or a sledge. The people who live here are called the Inuits. So the people living in the Tundra region are called the Inuits of the Alaska part and the Sami of the northern Europe. So in the Alaska, these people are called the Inuits. You can see that they live in igloos and these people use boats called kayaks. Kayaks are the boats that are used by the Inuits and they use sledge pulled by the husky. The main occupation of the Inuits are hunting, reindeer herding, fishing and fur trapping. They live with whatever little resources that are available to them. They use snow, ice, bones of animals and animal skin to make weapons, house and boats. So as I said, the boats are called kayaks and their traditional occupation is hunting, reindeer herding, fishing and fur trapping. So fur trapping is they use the fur of animals in making fur coats, snowshoes. So these special kind of clothes are used by the people in the Tundra region. They also wear thick gloves and caps to keep themselves warm. And the fat from the seal and whale is called as blubber. So they take the fat of the animals from seals and whales. And this fat is used as a fuel, like how we use petrol or oil to burn. They use the fat of these animals for cooking and for other purposes. Their winter homes are called igloos. So here I have shown you the picture of an igloo. This is their winter home. It is called the igloos. So in summer they live in tent made by animal skin. So in summer they can also live in the tent, but most of the time they live in igloos. Now most people in the Arctic region have access to gas, electricity and modern facility. So now in the Arctic Circle there is a little bit development where these people are using gas, electricity and other modern facilities. Roads and airports are also being built so that they are not cut off from the rest of the world. So for so many years there was no roads or aircrafts in this region, but now as the modern day is coming up, they are developed. So now they are also like any other country. They have their own airport, roadways, electricity and all the modern facilities. So I hope children you have learnt about the Tundra region. Let us just recap what is being taught today. So we are learning about the location of the Tundra region and the countries that lie at the northern hemisphere of the Tundra region and how the Tundra region looks and what are the kind of plants that grow here and how the occupation of the Inuits. They go for fishing, hunting, fur trapping and reindeer herding and the use of the husky dog and the kind of clothes they wear and the house they stay and the types of animals that live here. So this is about today's lesson.